Government statistics state that over 50% of people who go into rehabilitation centres leave without completing their detox. Which leaves me with the question, does the system do enough for those who are addicted to drugs?
I'll be talking to an ex-drug user who went through the rehab system and a nurse who works in the ward to see what their experience was like.
Addiction is a major thing which we come across at least once in our lives. The Action on Addiction charity states that at least 1 in 3 people are addicted to something. It can be as simple as being addicted to shopping, work, or even your mobile phone. However, there can also be an addiction to gambling, alcohol, drugs, or nicotine. These are the common things which people go to rehab for and try to get help with. From 2019 to 2020, over 130,000 people started treatment for drug and alcohol problems. The most common age group to start treatment was people aged 35 to 39. But what causes people to become addicted to these substances? I spoke to Zach Hader from Intuitive Recovery. I wanted to know some of the reasons as to why people would end up taking drugs and drinking alcohol.
I think there's a number of reasons. Firstly, someone wants some help. They've found themselves in a difficult situation. They struggle, don't feel they can get out of it themselves. They feel that they need help to do that. Or just the know-how sometimes, not always the practical support. Sometimes the know-how. If it's drug-related, someone wants to be taken away from where they are, they may need a detoxification.
According to government sources, 59% of adults who go into the treatment system states they went in with mental health problems. 1/3 of adults in treatment state they had problems with housing. I spoke to Geffen Jones, a Portsmouth businessman and inspirational speaker. I wanted to know how he got into drugs, which then led to him spending 20 years of his life alongside the criminal justice system.
So when I was 13, 14 years of age was when I first started to drink alcohol, and I used to sniff glue as well. So today's version of a legal high, I suppose you want to call it. But most of the kids were also doing this as well, and then we started to smoke cannabis, and then once I kind of left school at 16, 17, we then got involved in the party scene. So we started experimenting with acid and amphetamines and ecstasy. Yeah, so there was a bit of a progression. Because I'd been caught up in the criminal world as well, was when I kind of got to about 18 years of age. Okay, I automatically then started to not just take the drugs, but I started to sell the drugs as well.
When Geffen got caught in possession of ecstasy, he ended up going to prison, where he then started using other drugs.
I was introduced to heroin and crack whilst in prison. So I then used heroin and crack cocaine in prison as a way to be able to manage and deal with my time, because there's a lot of time where you're locked behind your door. There's a lot of boredom. You've also got lots of pain because of everything that's going on within your life. And then what happened was, because I had a taste for them sort of drugs inside, I then took them out into the community, and I ended up becoming an intravenous heroin user. When I came out of prison, I was kind of in a place which was like a no man's land, yeah. So what it was I didn't fit in my old world anymore, but I also didn't fit in the new world anymore, and I was just very much isolated and quite alone. And what happened was, I was still taking drugs because I didn't know what else to survive, other ways to survive in my life. But I couldn't kind of like, I just became like what they call like a gyro junkie, yeah. So I was just in like this little squat of a flat. Do you know what I mean? Didn't have anybody around me. Very pitiful amounts of using, and like literally every single day I used to wake up and I just wanted to die. Yeah, every day I just wanted to die. I just thought I just can't live like this anymore. I don't want this lifestyle anymore. There was a hospital called St James's Hospital. They had a detox unit there called Bay Trees. It'd been somewhere I'd been for going in and out of many years. It used to be called Nelson, and then they changed it to Bay Trees. So I knew a lot of the staff and everything like that, so I kind of felt welcomed when I went in there. And for differently to other times, was I engaged with what it was that they was offering.
According to the government website, 65% of people who go to treatment centres are returning patients.
In particular, the way we're approaching it, you could very easily go in and find someone say, I'll support you. And for that reason, one of the problems is the system often regurgitates people. In other words, it's the same people coming in, going out, coming in, going out, coming in, going out. So for that reason, you have many, many years of someone in and out of the system. What that leads to is over-medicalisation.
I spoke to Hilary Stainton about how different the services are now and what has changed from before.
There's hardly anything, and which is why, as I say, it always has a knock-on effect, because you support people with homelessness, you support people with day services, you support people with families, you communicate really well. Portsmouth had a wonderful system between lots and lots of services, because it helped people be more stable, and that's nearly all of that has gone over, well, since it started to deteriorate a bit before austerity years, and of course we've never got it back, and this is why we've got so much homelessness, so much more crime, so much more, well, just so much more everything that's negative, really, because the services aren't there to support the people that actually need it.
As my journey comes to an end, I look back at what I've learned and what is wrong with our rehab system. More treatment centres need to open. More funding is needed, and support for those who leave prison so they don't go back to who they were before. It's sad to say that the system has caused more problems than fixed. Will our system fix these problems before they are worsened? Or is it officially too late for those who need it?